19 black celebrities who had the most disturbing death scene photos. What if I told you that some of the greatest black music legends ever to grace a stage met endings so tragic that fans still struggle to accept them today? Behind the fame, fortune, and unforgettable hits were stories of heartbreak, devastating illness, shocking accidents, and lives cut far too short. From voices that changed music forever to icons whose deaths stunned the world, their final chapters remain as powerful as their legacies. In this video, we'll uncover the emotional stories behind these legendary artists. Before we begin, tell us in the comments which story touched you the most, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join Golden Black Legends. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was one of the greatest vocalists the world has ever known. A superstar whose talent seemed almost limitless. With more than 200 million records sold worldwide, 6 Grammy Awards, and dozens of major honors, she became a defining voice of her generation. Songs such as I Will Always Love You, Greatest Love of All, How Will I Know, and I Wanna Dance with Somebody helped transform her into a global phenomenon. Her success expanded beyond music when she starred in The Bodyguard, whose soundtrack became one of the best-selling albums of all time. During her peak years, Whitney represented excellence, elegance, and unmatched vocal ability. Yet behind the fame, her life became increasingly complicated. Years of substance abuse, emotional struggles, and intense media attention gradually affected both her health and career. Fans watched with concern as the vibrant performer they once admired appeared increasingly fragile. Despite attempts to rebuild her life and career, the challenges remained difficult to overcome. On February 11, 2012, tragedy struck at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in California. Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in a bathtub just hours before a major music industry event. The official investigation concluded that accidental drowning combined with heart disease and cocaine use contributed to her death. She was only 48 years old. The news shocked millions around the world. What made the loss especially painful was the feeling that one of the greatest voices in music history still had so much more to offer. Even today, her recordings continue to inspire listeners across generations. Though her final years were marked by struggle, Whitney Houston's extraordinary talent remains her true legacy, ensuring that her voice will never be forgotten. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye's story remains one of the most heartbreaking tragedies in music history. Known as the Prince of Motown, he possessed a voice capable of expressing romance, pain, spirituality, and social consciousness with equal brilliance. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, he created timeless classics, including I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Let's Get It On, Mercy Mercy Me, Sexual Healing, and the legendary album What's Going On. His music not only entertained audiences, but also addressed issues such as poverty, war, and racial inequality, helping redefine what soul music could accomplish. Despite his enormous success, Marvin struggled with personal difficulties throughout much of his life. Financial problems, substance abuse, emotional stress, and family conflicts created constant pressure. His relationship with his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., became increasingly strained over the years. The tension between them eventually reached a devastating breaking point. On April 1, 1984, an argument erupted inside the family home in Los Angeles. During the confrontation, Marvin's father shot him. The singer died later that day at the age of 44, only one day before his 45th birthday. The shocking circumstances surrounding his death stunned fans and fellow musicians alike. Unlike many celebrity deaths caused by illness or accidents, Marvin's passing carried an especially painful emotional weight because it occurred within his own family. More than 40 years later, the tragedy still resonates with audiences around the world. Yet despite the heartbreaking ending, Marvin Gaye's music remains timeless. His songs continue to influence artists and inspire listeners, proving that while his life ended far too soon, his artistic legacy remains immortal. Aaliyah. Aaliyah's life remains one of the most heartbreaking what-if stories in music history. known as the Princess of R&B. She possessed a rare combination of talent, beauty, grace, and star power that made her one of the most beloved artists of her generation. Beginning her career as a teenager, she quickly rose to fame with albums such as Age Ain't Nothing But a #1 in a Million and Aaliyah. Her smooth vocals and innovative sound helped reshape modern R&B, while hit songs like Try Again, Are You That Somebody, and More Than a Woman established her as a global star. By 2001, Aaliyah's career was reaching extraordinary heights. Beyond music, she was building a successful acting career with films such as Romeo Must Die and had secured a role in Queen of the Damned. Industry insiders believed she was on the verge of becoming one of the biggest crossover entertainers in the world. At only 22 years old, her future appeared limitless. Everything changed on August 25, 2001. After completing the music video shoot for Rock the Boat in the Bahamas, Aaliyah and members of her team boarded a small aircraft headed for Florida. Investigators later determined the plane was overloaded and that the pilot was not properly qualified to operate the flight. Moments after takeoff, the aircraft crashed, killing all 9 people aboard. The news devastated fans around the world. Many struggled to accept that such a promising young star had been taken so suddenly. Her death felt particularly tragic because she had already accomplished so much while still having countless opportunities ahead of her. More than 2 decades later, Aaliyah's influence remains visible throughout modern music. Her style, sound, and artistry continue to inspire performers worldwide. Though her life ended far too soon, her legacy remains timeless. Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was one of the most influential voices in American music, a pioneer whose impact can still be heard decades after his death. Often called the King of Soul, Cooke helped bridge the gap between gospel and popular music, creating a sound that would inspire generations of artists. Through timeless songs such as You Sent Me Cupid, Wonderful World, and A Change Is Gonna Come, he became one of the most successful and respected performers of the early 1960s. Unlike many artists of his era, Cooke was also a visionary businessman. He fought for ownership of his recordings and publishing rights, becoming a trailblazer for future black musicians seeking greater control over their careers. His influence extended beyond music as he became increasingly involved in conversations surrounding civil rights and social change. By late 1964, Cooke was at the height of his powers. His career continued to flourish, and many believed his greatest accomplishments were still ahead. Then tragedy struck unexpectedly. During the early hours of December 11, 1964, Cooke was shot and killed at the Hacienda Motel in Los Angeles. He was only 33 years old. Authorities ruled the shooting a justifiable homicide after motel manager Bertha Franklin claimed she acted in self-defense. However, questions surrounding the circumstances of his death emerged almost immediately. Friends, family members, and fans challenged aspects of the official story, and debate continues more than 60 years later. What makes Sam Cooke's death especially tragic is the enormous potential that was lost. He was not only one of the greatest singers of his generation, but also a powerful voice for progress and artistic independence. Though his life ended under controversial circumstances, his music continues to inspire millions. Songs like A Change Is Gonna Come remain as powerful today as they were when first recorded. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross built a career on elegance, emotion, and one of the most recognizable voices in R&B history. Before becoming a superstar, he spent years working as a backup vocalist and songwriter for major artists. Through determination and extraordinary talent, he eventually emerged as one of the most successful performers of the 1980s and 1990s. Hits such as Never Too Much, Here and Now, Power of Love, and Dance with My Father made him a beloved figure whose music became the soundtrack to countless relationships and special moments. Throughout his career, Vandross sold millions of records, won 8 Grammy Awards, and earned a reputation as one of the finest vocalists of his generation. His smooth delivery and emotional sincerity allowed listeners to connect deeply with his music. Yet behind the scenes, he faced serious health challenges that would eventually alter the course of his life. For years, Luther battled diabetes, hypertension, and weight-related health concerns. Despite these obstacles, he continued performing and recording at a high level. Then in April 2003, tragedy struck when he suffered a severe stroke at his New York home. The medical emergency left him hospitalized and significantly affected his ability to communicate and perform. Fans around the world hoped he would recover fully, but the road proved difficult. After more than 2 years of treatment and rehabilitation, Luther Vandross passed away on July 1, 2005, at the age of 54 due to complications related to the stroke. His death left a tremendous void in the music world. Many believed he still had years of creativity ahead of him. Today, his songs remain among the most cherished recordings in R&B history. Though his life ended too soon, Luther's voice continues to comfort and inspire listeners, ensuring that his remarkable legacy lives on. Otis Redding. Otis Redding's rise from humble beginnings to international stardom is one of soul music's most inspiring stories. Blessed with a powerful emotional voice, he became one of the defining artists of the 1960s through unforgettable recordings such as Respect I've Been Loving You Too Long and Try a Little Tenderness. His ability to communicate raw feeling made him a favorite among audiences and fellow musicians alike. By 1967, Redding's career was entering an exciting new phase. His appearance at the Monterey Pop Festival introduced him to a broader audience and suggested that global superstardom was within reach. At just 26 years old, he seemed poised to become one of the biggest stars in popular music. Then disaster struck. On December 10, 1967, Redding boarded a small Beechcraft airplane with members of his backing band, the Bar-Kays, while traveling to a concert in Wisconsin. As the aircraft approached Madison in poor weather conditions, it crashed into the icy waters of Lake Monona. Otis Redding and most of those aboard were killed instantly. He was only 26 years old. The tragedy shocked the music world. Fans and fellow performers struggled to accept that such a gifted artist had been lost at the peak of his career. What makes the story even more heartbreaking is that only days before the crash, Redding had recorded Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay. Released after his death, it became the biggest hit of his career and one of the most beloved songs in music history. Although his life was tragically short, Otis Redding's influence remains enormous. His voice continues to inspire generations of artists, and his recordings remain timeless. More than half a century after his death, his music still carries the same passion, proving that true greatness never fades. Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman possessed one of the most powerful and emotionally expressive voices in R&B history. Throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, she built a loyal following through songs such as You Know How to Love Me, Living All Alone, Old Friend, and Don't Wanna Change the World. Her elegant stage presence, remarkable vocal range, and ability to convey deep emotion made her one of the most respected singers of her era. Critics praised her talent, while devoted fans connected with the honesty she poured into every performance. Despite her success, Hyman privately struggled with severe emotional challenges. Throughout much of her adult life, she battled depression and bipolar disorder conditions that were not widely discussed or understood at the time. While audiences saw confidence and sophistication on stage, she often experienced loneliness and emotional pain away from the spotlight. Career frustrations, relationship disappointments, and the pressures of fame gradually added to her burden. As the years passed, her personal struggles became increasingly difficult to manage. Although she continued recording and performing, those closest to her recognized that she was fighting battles few people could see. Tragically, on June 30th, 1995, the day she was scheduled to perform at New York's Apollo Theater, Hyman was found dead in her apartment. She was only 45 years old. Authorities ruled her death a suicide. The news devastated the music community and shocked fans around the world. What made her loss especially heartbreaking was the realization that one of music's most gifted voices had suffered silently for so long. Decades later, her story continues to highlight the importance of mental health awareness. Though her life ended tragically, her recordings remain beloved by fans who continue to find comfort and understanding in her music. Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson was one of the most dynamic performers in music history, a singer whose electrifying stage presence helped pave the way for artists such as Michael Jackson, James Brown, and countless others. Nicknamed Mr. Excitement, Wilson combined extraordinary vocals, athletic dance moves, and undeniable charisma to create a style that revolutionized live performance. Hits including Lonely Teardrops, Higher and Higher Doggin' Around and Baby Workout established him as one of the most successful entertainers of the 1950s and 1960s. Wilson's influence extended far beyond his chart success. His energetic performances transformed audience expectations and helped shape the future of soul and pop music. Yet despite his achievements, his career was often complicated by financial disputes and industry practices that left many black artists struggling to benefit fully from their success. A devastating tragedy occurred on September 29, 1975. While performing Lonely Teardrops during a concert in New Jersey, Wilson suddenly collapsed on stage after suffering a massive heart attack. Although medical personnel managed to keep him alive, the incident caused severe brain damage due to lack of oxygen. He never fully recovered. For nearly 9 years, Wilson remained in a semi-comatose state, requiring extensive medical care. Fans who once watched him command stages around the world could only hope for improvement that never came. On January 21, 1984, Jackie Wilson died at the age of 49. His death marked the end of a long and painful chapter that began with a shocking collapse witnessed by thousands. Despite the tragedy, Wilson's influence remains undeniable. Many of the greatest performers in modern music credit him as an inspiration. His life may have ended in heartbreaking circumstances, but his contributions to entertainment continue to shape generations of artists. David Ruffin. David Ruffin's voice helped define the sound of The Temptations and some of the greatest recordings in Motown history. As lead vocalist on classics such as My Girl Ain't Too Proud to Beg Beauty, Is Only Skin Deep and I Wish It Would Rain, Ruffin became one of the most recognizable voices in soul music. His emotional delivery and commanding stage presence played a major role in transforming The Temptations into one of the most successful vocal groups of all time. Success, however, brought challenges. Ruffin's growing fame contributed to tensions within the group, eventually leading to his departure in 1968. Although he enjoyed periods of success as a solo artist, personal struggles increasingly affected his life. Substance abuse problems, financial difficulties, and legal troubles created obstacles that became difficult to overcome. Despite these challenges, Ruffin remained a beloved figure among soul music fans. His voice retained its power and he continued performing whenever possible. Many hoped he would experience a lasting comeback as nostalgia for classic Motown music grew during the late 1980s. Those hopes ended tragically on June 1, 1991. After battling long-term drug addiction, Ruffin suffered an accidental overdose involving cocaine. He was rushed to a hospital in Philadelphia but could not be saved. He died at the age of 50. The news saddened fans who remembered him as one of the defining voices of an era. His passing served as a painful reminder of how addiction can affect even the most talented individuals. Although his life was marked by personal struggles, Ruffin's musical legacy remains extraordinary. Songs he recorded decades ago continue to inspire listeners around the world, ensuring that his contribution to soul music will never be forgotten. Minnie Riperton. Minnie Riperton possessed a voice unlike any other in popular music. Best known for the timeless hit Lovin' You, she became famous for her extraordinary 5.5-octave vocal range and remarkable ability to reach notes few singers could match. Throughout the 1970s, Riperton built a successful career through albums that blended soul R&B, jazz, and pop influences. Her artistry earned admiration from fellow musicians and loyal fans who appreciated both her talent and originality. Beyond her music, Riperton was known for her warmth, intelligence, and dedication to her family. She appeared to have a bright future ahead as her popularity continued growing. Then in 1976, she received devastating news. Doctors diagnosed her with breast cancer, a disease that was often discussed far less openly than it is today. Rather than hiding her condition, Riperton chose to speak publicly about her experience. She became one of the first major celebrities to raise awareness about breast cancer, encouraging women to seek medical examinations and early detection. Her courage inspired many people facing similar challenges. Despite undergoing treatment, the disease continued to progress. Yet Riperton remained determined to perform record music and advocate for awareness whenever possible. Fans admired her strength and optimism during an incredibly difficult period. On July 12, 1979, Minnie Riperton passed away at only 31 years old. Her death shocked the music industry because she was still so young and appeared to have many years of creativity ahead of her. The loss was particularly heartbreaking because she had fought her illness with such grace and determination. Although her life was tragically short, Riperton's legacy continues through her music and her advocacy. Her voice remains one of the most distinctive ever recorded, and her courage in confronting illness helped raise awareness that benefited countless others. Teddy Pendergrass. Teddy Pendergrass became one of the most successful R&B performers of the late 20th century through his powerful voice, magnetic stage presence, and unforgettable romantic ballads. After rising to fame with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, he launched a hugely successful solo career that produced hits such as Love TKO Close the Door, Turn Off the Lights, and Come Go With Me. By the early 1980s, he had become one of the biggest stars in black music. At the height of his success, tragedy struck unexpectedly. On March 18, 1982, Pendergrass was driving his Rolls-Royce in Philadelphia when he lost control of the vehicle. The car crashed into a tree, causing severe spinal cord injuries. The accident left him permanently paralyzed from the chest down. For many artists, such a devastating event might have ended their public careers. Instead, Pendergrass demonstrated remarkable courage and resilience. He underwent extensive rehabilitation and eventually returned to recording and performing. His determination inspired millions who admired his refusal to give up despite life-changing circumstances. Although he achieved many accomplishments after the accident, his health challenges continued throughout the following decades. On January 13, 2010, Teddy Pendergrass passed away at the age of 59 following complications from colon cancer and other health issues. Fans mourned not only the loss of a legendary singer but also the loss of a man who had become a symbol of perseverance. His story showed that true strength is measured not by avoiding adversity, but by confronting it with dignity. Today, his music remains a cornerstone of R&B history, and his courage continues to inspire people around the world. Florence Ballard. Florence Ballard's story is one of the most tragic in music history because it combines extraordinary success with heartbreaking decline. As a founding member of the Supremes, Ballard helped create one of the most successful female groups ever assembled. Alongside Diana Ross and Mary Wilson, she contributed to a string of hits that transformed the Supremes into international stars during the 1960s. Yet behind the group's success, tensions and business decisions gradually changed Ballard's future. As Diana Ross became the primary focus of Motown's promotional efforts, Ballard's role diminished. In 1967, she was removed from the Supremes and replaced by Cindy Birdsong. The dismissal devastated her emotionally and professionally. Following her departure, Ballard struggled to rebuild her career. Financial difficulties, personal challenges, and emotional distress created enormous obstacles. The transition from international stardom to relative obscurity proved extremely painful. While she continued trying to move forward, opportunities became increasingly limited. During the 1970s, Ballard faced significant hardships while attempting to support her family. Friends later recalled her determination to rebuild her life despite the setbacks she endured. Just as signs of recovery began to appear, tragedy struck. On February 22, 1976, Florence Ballard died from a heart attack at only 32 years old. Her sudden death shocked those who knew her story and highlighted the harsh realities many performers face after fame fades. Today, Ballard is remembered not only as a founding member of the Supremes, but also as a symbol of unrecognized sacrifice within the music industry. Her life serves as a reminder that success does not always guarantee happiness or security. Though her story ended tragically, her contributions to music remain an important part of entertainment history. Rick James. Rick James lived a life filled with extraordinary success, creativity, controversy, and ultimately tragedy. As one of the most influential figures in funk music, he helped define the sound of the late 1970s and early 1980s through unforgettable hits such as Super Freak, Give It To Me Baby Mary Jane, and Cold Blooded. His unique blend of funk, rock, soul, and attitude made him one of the most recognizable entertainers of his generation. With his flamboyant image, energetic performances, and fearless personality, Rick James became a cultural icon whose influence would later extend into hip-hop and popular culture. During his peak years, James enjoyed massive commercial success. His albums sold millions of copies, his concerts drew huge crowds, and his music became a staple on radio stations across America. Yet behind the fame and success, he struggled with substance abuse and personal problems that gradually affected both his career and health. Legal troubles and addiction issues damaged his public image and interrupted what had once seemed like an unstoppable rise. Despite those setbacks, James remained a respected figure in music. In the early 2000s, he experienced renewed popularity as younger generations discovered his work. His influence could be heard in countless hip-hop samples and tributes from artists who admired his originality. On August 6, 2004, Rick James died at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 56. Medical reports indicated that several health conditions contributed to his death, including heart and lung problems. The loss shocked fans who had hoped to see him continue enjoying his late career resurgence. Rick James left behind far more than controversy. He was a musical innovator who pushed creative boundaries and helped shape the sound of modern black music. Though his life contained many ups and downs, his impact remains undeniable. Decades later, his songs continue to energize audiences, proving that his legacy remains as vibrant as the music he created. Mary Wells. Mary Wells earned her place in music history long before reaching her 25th birthday. Known as Motown's first major female star, she helped establish the label's early success and opened doors for many artists who followed. Through timeless recordings such as My Guy, Two Lovers, You Beat Me to the Punch, and The One Who Really Loves You, Wells became one of the defining voices of the 1960s. Her warm, expressive vocals made her a favorite among fans and helped transform Motown into a powerhouse within the music industry. At the height of her career, Wells appeared destined for even greater success. However, a series of professional decisions and contract disputes complicated her future. Leaving Motown in 1964 proved to be a turning point. Although she continued recording and performing, she never fully regained the commercial momentum she had enjoyed during her peak years. Despite these challenges, Wells remained a respected figure in music. She continued appearing on television, touring, and participating in events celebrating Motown's legacy. Her influence on soul and pop music remained significant, even if younger audiences sometimes overlooked her pioneering contributions. In the late 1980s, Wells received devastating news when she was diagnosed with cancer of the larynx. The disease affected her ability to sing and communicate, threatening the very gift that had made her famous. Yet she faced the illness with courage and determination, speaking openly about her condition and seeking support from fellow artists and fans. On July 26, 1992, Mary Wells passed away at the age of 49. Her death saddened the music world, which recognized the immense role she had played in shaping Motown's early success. Although her life ended far too soon, Mary Wells remains an important figure in American music history. Her voice helped define an era, and her recordings continue to remind listeners of the talent that made her one of Motown's earliest stars. Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway possessed one of the most soulful and emotionally powerful voices ever recorded. Throughout the 1970s, he created music that blended gospel, jazz, soul, and social awareness into a style uniquely his own. Songs such as A Song for You, the Ghetto, Someday We'll All Be Free, and his unforgettable duets with Roberta Flack established him as one of the most respected musicians of his generation. His ability to communicate vulnerability and hope through music created a connection with listeners that remains powerful decades later. While Hathaway's artistic achievements were remarkable, his personal life was marked by a difficult battle with mental illness. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, a condition that caused severe emotional and psychological challenges. During periods of stability, he produced extraordinary work. During more difficult periods, he struggled with hallucinations, paranoia, and deep emotional distress. Despite receiving treatment, the illness continued to affect his personal and professional life. Friends and colleagues often spoke about the contrast between his incredible talent and the private struggles he endured. Even so, Hathaway remained determined to continue making music and sharing his gift with the world. By early 1979, there were signs that his career was entering a promising new phase. He had reunited with Roberta Flack for a new recording project, and fans hoped brighter days were ahead. Tragically, those hopes were shattered on January 13, 1979. Hathaway died after falling from the 15th floor of New York City's Essex House Hotel. He was only 33 years old. The news devastated the music community. Many believed the world had lost one of its most gifted performers at the height of his creative potential. His death also brought greater attention to mental health issues within the entertainment industry. Today, Donny Hathaway's music continues to inspire artists and listeners alike. Though his life ended in tragedy, the emotional honesty and beauty of his recordings ensure that his legacy remains timeless. Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix revolutionized modern music in less than 4 years of international fame. Widely regarded as one of the greatest guitarists in history, he transformed the possibilities of electric guitar through innovation, creativity, and technical brilliance. Songs such as Purple Haze, Hey Joe, The Wind Cries, Mary, and All Along the Watchtower helped establish him as a cultural phenomenon during the late 1960s. His unforgettable performance of the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock remains one of the defining moments in rock history. Born in Seattle, Hendrix overcame a difficult childhood before finding success in music. After serving as a sideman for several performers, he moved to London in 1966 and quickly became a sensation. Within a remarkably short period, he achieved worldwide fame and earned admiration from fellow musicians who viewed him as a once-in-a-generation talent. Despite his success, life in the spotlight brought intense pressure. Constant touring, media attention, and the demands of maintaining his career created exhaustion. Like many artists of the era, Hendrix also faced challenges associated with substance use and the chaotic lifestyle surrounding the music industry. On September 18, 1970, tragedy struck in London. Hendrix was found unconscious after consuming sleeping medication. Medical reports concluded that he died from asphyxiation after inhaling vomit while unconscious. He was only 27 years old. The loss stunned fans across the globe. At an age when many musicians are still finding their identity, Hendrix had already changed music forever. His death became part of the tragic pattern of young stars whose lives ended far too soon. More than 5 decades later, Jimi Hendrix remains a towering figure in music history. His influence can still be heard in rock, blues, soul, and countless other genres. Although his life was brief, the impact of his artistry continues to inspire musicians around the world, ensuring that his legacy will never fade. Sylvester was one of the most distinctive and groundbreaking voices in disco history, a performer whose influence extended far beyond music. Known for hits such as You Make Me Feel Mighty, Real, and Dance Disco Heat, he became a symbol of freedom, individuality, and self-expression during the late 1970s. His powerful falsetto, flamboyant stage presence, and refusal to conform to traditional expectations helped him stand out in an era filled with larger-than-life personalities. As an openly gay black artist, Sylvester broke barriers and inspired countless people who saw themselves reflected in his courage and authenticity. During the height of the disco movement, Sylvester enjoyed tremendous success. His music filled dance floors across America and Europe, while his unique image challenged stereotypes within the entertainment industry. Unlike many artists who hid parts of their identity, Sylvester embraced who he was without apology. That honesty earned him a loyal fan base and a lasting place in music history. The 1980s, however, brought a devastating challenge. As the AIDS epidemic spread across communities around the world, many artists and entertainers found themselves facing an illness that was still poorly understood. In 1987, Sylvester publicly revealed that he had been diagnosed with AIDS. Rather than retreat from public life, he used his platform to raise awareness and encourage compassion for those affected by the disease. Despite his determination, his health gradually declined. On December 16, 1988, Sylvester passed away at the age of 41. His death occurred during one of the darkest periods of the AIDS crisis and highlighted the devastating impact the disease had on countless lives. Today, Sylvester is remembered not only for his music but also for his courage. His willingness to live authentically and speak openly about his struggles helped change perceptions and inspired future generations. Though his life ended far too soon, his voice and message continue to resonate around the world. Ike Turner was one of the most influential yet controversial figures in American music history. A gifted musician, songwriter, bandleader, and producer, he played a major role in the development of rhythm and blues and early rock and roll. Many historians point to his 1951 recording, Rocket 88, as one of the earliest examples of rock music. Long before becoming widely known through his partnership with Tina Turner, Ike had already established himself as a talented innovator within the music industry. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Turner built a reputation as a skilled performer and band leader. Together with Tina Turner, he created a string of successful hits and became known for explosive live performances that captivated audiences worldwide. However, his legacy became deeply complicated by allegations of abuse and personal misconduct which later overshadowed many of his musical achievements. Beyond the controversies, Turner also struggled with substance abuse for many years. Addiction affected both his personal life and professional career, contributing to periods of instability and legal problems. Despite these challenges, he eventually returned to music and received renewed recognition for his contributions to the industry. In the years before his death, he released new material and earned additional Grammy recognition. On December 12, 2007, Ike Turner died at his home in California at the age of 76. Medical reports indicated that he suffered from hypertension and emphysema, while toxicology findings revealed the presence of cocaine. His passing sparked renewed discussion about both his groundbreaking musical influence and the controversies that surrounded his life. Ike Turner's story remains complex. He helped shape modern music, yet his legacy continues to generate debate. While his life was marked by both achievement and turmoil, his impact on the evolution of American popular music remains impossible to ignore. Natalie Cole. Natalie Cole spent much of her life balancing extraordinary talent with immense expectations. As the daughter of legendary singer Nat King Cole, she entered the music industry carrying one of the most famous names in entertainment. Rather than relying solely on her family legacy, Natalie worked tirelessly to establish her own identity. Her efforts paid off with hits such as This Will Be Inseparable and Our Love, making her one of the most successful female artists of the 1970s and beyond. Despite her professional achievements, Cole faced numerous personal challenges. During the early years of her career, she struggled with substance abuse, a battle that threatened both her health and future. Through determination and treatment, she overcame many of those obstacles and rebuilt her life. Her resilience became one of the defining themes of her story. A major career highlight arrived in 1991 with Unforgettable, With Love. The album featured a technologically created duet with her late father on Unforgettable, becoming a worldwide success and earning multiple Grammy Awards. The project introduced Natalie to a new generation of fans and cemented her place among music's elite performers. In later years, however, serious health issues emerged. She battled hepatitis C, underwent a kidney transplant in 2009, and faced ongoing medical complications. Even while dealing with these challenges, she continued performing and inspiring audiences with her determination. On December 31st, 2015, Natalie Cole passed away at the age of 65. Medical reports indicated that complications related to her ongoing health problems contributed to her death. The loss saddened fans around the world who admired both her talent and her resilience. Natalie Cole's story is ultimately one of perseverance. She overcame addiction, personal hardship, and serious illness while building a remarkable career. Though her life ended too soon, her music continues to touch listeners, ensuring that her legacy remains alive for generations to come. After hearing these stories, one difficult question remains: which tragedy was the most heartbreaking? Was it the courageous battle of Natalie Cole, the painful decline of Sylvester during the AIDS crisis, the troubled final years of Ike Turner, or the sudden loss of a musical innovator like Rick James? Each story reminds us that fame, talent, and success could not protect these legends from life's harshest realities. Behind the awards and applause were human beings facing struggles many fans never saw. Now we want to hear from you. Which artist's story affected you the most, and which loss do you believe changed music history forever? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join Golden Black Legends for more unforgettable stories of black music icons and legends.